Hashtag Impact invites you in to eavesdrop on raw and honest conversations on creating positive change in the world. I am your host, Regina Larco, and together with guests and hosts from around the globe, we encourage you to get curious about what making an impact means to you. Join the conversation and share your voice at hashtagimpact.com. Hashtag Impact is very happy to participate in the 4th edition of Podcast-on. For 1 week, thousands of podcasts will highlight a charity of their choice. And today I have the pleasure of welcoming César González Fernández, the founder of CSFN, that stands for Clean Something for Nothing, a community app that connects people to clean the planet. He is also an EU Climate Pact ambassador and World Cleanup Day coordinator for Luxembourg. He believes in the power of each individual action as a driver for change, and through the app, they've done more than 7,000 cleanups across 84 countries, collecting more than 800 tons of litter. I'm so excited for you to meet him, and I hope you enjoy the discussion. Make sure to check out podcaston.org as well for listening to more beautiful stories on driving positive change in the world. Welcome to the podcast, Cesar.
Thank you so much, Regina. Thank you for having me. Very happy for being here.
Yeah, and of course, as the listeners are tuning in now, maybe as we air this episode, but maybe years from now, that number, of course, might have changed now and has gone up since we are recording. Yeah.
In fact, a few hundred kilos more, I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
So they can
it's
just
really nice.
check on the app or on the website also how the numbers are developing. And of course, I'm absolutely thrilled. Of course, thank you for reaching out to me and sharing your story with me. And I just really loved your approach to making an impact with a global community, and want to learn from you, and I'm sure that a lot of our listeners will take a lot from it, your journey into making a difference in the world.
Well, thank you so much. I hope the session is inspiring and looking forward to it.
Yeah. As a curious soul, I'm just always so curious to not just hear the story of how this all started and what made you start it, but actually I would love to find out what is like your first actual memory of you noticing litter, and not just noticing it, but actually getting maybe upset about it or feeling like you want to do something about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for the question. Actually, it's a good one because that was the moment when I look at it differently, right? So, of course, I was aware of litter as everyone else is. I mean, we know that there is litter. We also see the cleaning services passing by in our cities. But in my case, it was in 2018 when suddenly, when I was walking my dog near my home, I just noticed the trash. It was not too much, but I noticed it, and I decided just to go back to the kitchen, find a bag of trash, and just collect the litter that I found on my path with my dog. And when doing that, I saw how much value I created for my dog and myself, because we always go walking in the same path, but also my neighbors, anybody passing by would appreciate. So that was actually the moment when I saw, wait, I just created value with 5 minutes, 10 minutes of my time. It cost me nothing. I did some exercise, and bam, it's better than I found it. And I realized, and I said, look, I just did that. What if everybody would just do small things, And that's how the Clean Something for Nothing started to take a bit of shape as a pure hobby, and first as a hashtag, as a way of to say people, call to action to clean something for nothing. Yeah. I was also inspired by Joshua Combes, someone from the UK who had a movement called Do Something for Nothing. So you can say the name relates a lot. I even talked to him to see if he was okay for me creating this hashtag in order, not to be, infringing any copyright or anything like that. And he was super happy. He was actually cutting the hair and the beard of homeless people in London and many places in the UK for nothing, just because he wanted to do it and because it was something good to do, because that was the same driver as Clean Something for Nothing. Yeah, that's a bit how it all started.
I find it lovely that you reached out to him, though.
Yeah.
That's so...
I was following him for long, actually. So
yeah.
He didn't know me, but I did know him a lot.
And now he knows you.
Now, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. And how did it then turn from that hashtag into the... I mean, that's many years now. I mean, now 2018 was that walk with your dog. Then the hashtag came. What were like the next steps for you to then turn this idea into something that was actually tangible and where people could join in with you?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So as you can tell, it's been a slow, steady process since 2018, right? So first it was an Instagram page. I just created an Instagram page with the name Clean Something for Nothing. I still remember I put the first 3 posts. It was why, what, and how we're gonna make it. A bit like this mission statements where you actually explain a little bit why are we doing this and how we're gonna do it. And I started by myself, posting photos myself of cleanups that I did, but never showing up my face, just showing up the bag of trash collected and my hand holding it as if it was a selfie.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the case in all the photos at the beginning of the account. You will see only a bag of trash or 3 or 4 bags of trash hanging from my hand scale, where, I always weight my cleanups with a pocket hand scale. And I was also traveling in Eastern Europe at that time, a bit after I started to do the first cleanup. I found the litter was everywhere I went. So it was clear to me that the problem was big, and I was making an impact in everywhere I would go for camping. I was driving a camper van. I would stop, and before taking out the table and chairs to, have some breakfast or dinner or whatever, I would just dedicate 5 minutes of my time to clean the area. And then it would be better for me as well to enjoy the place, because I always went in nature, right? The coast, on the coast or in the forests. Yeah, and then back in the day, hashtags got a lot of importance in social media. It's not the case anymore, but back in the day, you could you would use a lot of hashtag to know the community, right? You would filter by a hashtag, and then you will find like-minded people through that. And that was the reason why also maybe the hashtag got to reach this very niche of people that are not, we are not many yet. But yeah, it was very good to gather more people following us and doing the same thing, posting the cleanups and using the hashtag. Yeah. I mean, I can keep telling you the story. You tell me if you want to.
Yeah, no,
ask me anything.
I'm always really fascinated by, especially when you've been doing this for many years, yeah, and now you're so in it. I feel like that's my experience, at least, as well. Like running this podcast now, when you say 2018, like I've launched in 2017, so it's so I think so meaningful actually for the people that have started it to take actually stock, like how these like really humble early days, they had a magic as well. Or how do you feel about that when you're like all of a sudden say like you create this hashtag and all of a sudden actually people do take part in it, and it's then not just your friends anymore and your immediate circle that maybe are supportive anyway, no matter what you do, right? But all of a sudden, I don't know how it was for you, but for me, it was like there was this milestone of like when that first stranger actually reached out and said, you know what, I listened to your podcast. And I'm like, you listen to my podcast, but you're a stranger. I don't know you. It was this aha moment. So I, I, I can imagine there might have been some moments like this for you as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. And those moments actually push you farther to boost with energy. I mean, at least for me, that's the best part. Meeting the people in person that is using the app now, or back in the day, the hashtag. That's always really great. It happens that we share many things in common without looking for it, but there is something that we all share, and I have never found to date nobody within our community that it's not someone pretty amazing, really. So I could meet people from, for example, from Berlin, Anna Vasilevsky from Berlin Litter Pickers, who I've been meeting, several times whenever I go there. People from Spain, of course, from different regions. I've been doing cleanups with them, Mi Pueblo Limpio, or meeting Quique Bolsitas, talking with them actually before building the app to understand, okay, guys, we are a community, but we would like to know, because then maybe that's a good moment to keep following the story, right? After the hashtag got a lot of views, it was around the pandemic when my friend Lester and myself decided to create a mobile app. We had already back in the day, 10,000 or 14,000 posts using the long hashtag Clean Something for Nothing. There were 0 when we started, obviously. It's a hashtag people wouldn't use otherwise. And, we wanted to create the app to understand the impact, because it was good to see the hashtag used everywhere, but how many of us are behind? How many locations are we cleaning up, and how many bags, how many kilos are we picking up? So that's when we had some time in the lockdown to actually take the idea into reality, because that was also in our heads for a long time. And we asked the community before building it. We needed to understand our users, because those will be the future users. And long story short, I don't know if you are interested by how we shaped the product, how we did the beta group. But first thing we did was looking for existing apps who do what we wanted to do. Maybe it wasn't worth it to build a new one, right?
Mm.
But after checking that, we found quite a handful of apps, about 10 or 12. Some of them were very beautifully designed, but we can say that for us, none of them were very user-oriented. That means they were very data-oriented. They would ask you as a person to categorize a lot. What kind of litter have you picked? Show me a photo of every piece of litter. So take a photo of every item, categorize it. That means, okay, is it plastic? Is it metal? And then go one step further sometimes, like, what brand is it? Or is it a bottle? Is it a wrap? And I mean, that is amazing for the data. Don't take me wrong. But for me, personally, as a litter picker, and for many others, it was a pain in the ass. Sorry for that. It was super painful. And yeah, we came up with a super easy, intuitive app where you can actually post a cleanup in 30 seconds and keep going.
Yeah, I love that you asked the community, that what do you need? And we build it for you and with you. And I applaud you for that, for taking that step as well and having these conversations, because often I think often we fall a little bit in the trap of building something beautiful or building something that we think is needed, but we actually haven't even had the conversations with our audience and to see what's actually practical and what is it actually they need. So, I mean, maybe an encouragement to everyone out there building their own impact organizations to just reach out to people and ask them and run some surveys and get some really good insights from them. Also, even I would say let them, not just don't just give them all the answers and let them tick a box, but actually let them share as well from their point of view what's needed in these feedback forms, for example. I've made really good experience with that as well, like when it comes to surveying the listeners of this podcast. And then often I'm so surprised, what people would say. Impact measurement. I mean, you also said, that I'd love to go a little bit deeper there actually, because I mean, of course, it's a good thing you do for the environment, picking up this litter. And I think it's very meaningful that we're actually recording this right now as the 30th World Climate Conference is taking place in Brazil right now. And there is, of course, you have all these different stakeholders and everyone needs to do their part in, I guess, saving our world, right? But these individual actions oftentimes are maybe less, I would almost say less talked about, or they would be looked down upon, or that people would say, what is it even what I can do about that? It's like so hopeless. Like, let's just go to Hong Kong at a beach where I've lived many years in Hong Kong, and you would have all this plastic washed up at the ocean all the time. And it's like, there are these amazing groups as well there that are so active in picking it up. And then you wonder, it keeps coming, right? Like that trash keeps coming out of the ocean. It's so frustrating as well. But at the same time, there is this, what I heard you call the social return on investment, what I absolutely love. So please explain to us a little bit more on what you mean by that and how what you do with Clean Something for Nothing relates to that.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, you mentioned a very important point. It's it can be frustrating when you go clean up and then next week trash is there again. Maybe because the sea vomits it or because someone is littering it again. But also, what we shouldn't forget is cleanups are not only meant to clean the trash that you see in front of you. It's what sparks after, right? You talk with your friends, with your parents, with some neighbors look at you and see you doing that, and they know you're not bad for that. And that changes the mindsets. Because at the end of the day, it's we citizens who are littering, and we citizens who are not aware, or we are not having the right mindset when it comes to consumption and disposal. Everything is connected, right? How do you consume? How do you dispose? How do you behave? So, yeah, the return on social return on investment. I mean, that's a word. But maybe it's not that famous, right? But what I want to say is, if you have people, imagine we live in a country where nobody litters. That would mean no cleaning services for litter would exist. That's an economical benefit, but also that would mean civic engagement. If people protect the place where they live in, if people care, everything spreads, and you probably have better behaviors. You reinforce the community sense spirit because we are all protecting one another to live in a place, in a common place. It's super simple, right? But it can really make a big difference. I do cleanups. I mix and mingle with many people from different backgrounds. We have people I mean, coming from the finance world, others are asylum seekers, refugees from Syria or Ukraine. You have also grandpas coming with their sons or even kids. It's also an opportunity to connect with your peers. I can only see benefits. And what you said, that these actions, individual actions, are very overlooked, I totally agree. We mostly think when we see the problem, even of production of waste or consumption, we say, oh, it's all because of China, or it's always someone else. Politicians are not doing their job. Yeah, probably they have a big role to play. But we shouldn't forget we are 8 billion strong. We are 8 billion people in this planet. If each of us cleans 2.2 kilos of trash a year, there wouldn't be more litter. I'm talking about litter, not all the household waste. That's a study that a German group did. It's an estimation, but yeah, I'm very frustrated about those arguments. It's like, can you ask a tree, oh, this tree is absolutely useful. It makes no sense. Well, that's one way of looking at it. But the other way is this tree is part of a global ecosystem of multiple trees, which without them, we wouldn't be able to live. And the life wouldn't exist without them. So yeah, okay, one tree, of course, it's only one, but it's part of a whole interconnected environment, and it's all part of part of life. I think we should look at things with hope. If we all adjust our consumption, let's say, for instance, we don't want more single-use plastic cups. Well, you know what happened if all of us would stop buying those? The problem is over. Sometimes it's super easy, but it depends how you look at it. Yeah.
And you mentioned the trees now. Let's look into that a little bit more closely, like how you then also plant trees according to how many kilos of litter you collect, right? Like, how does that system work? And
That's a
how
new
has
system.
that? Yeah, is that quite new, right? I understand there's something I think that's the beauty as well, to just look into that journey as well, how you are evolving your offering as well and your solution as like a non-profit app, but at the same time, you are required to build that on a sustainable, in a sustainable way as well, for you to make it long-lasting, impactful, and surviving in a tough climate business as well, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We need to survive to ensure the project remains for the future. Yeah, that's a super good question. So that's called pick and plant. That's how we call it, pick and plant, because we combine picking up litter with planting trees. That's a program that we launched to get funding from companies who want to be the champions of these actions. And in a way, is a win-win-win. Why? Because our users we run a survey, and they feel more motivated and more empowered to do cleanups, to post them in the app, knowing that every kilo they collect, there is a tree behind planted, thanks to the company XYZ. So that's a great news for our community, which is for us the cornerstone of the movement. So we put our community in the top of the pyramid. And then second, the company gets a quite clear report saying, look, these are the kilos collected. You can see that in this map. You can see the coordinates, the photos, attesting that the cleanup was done, who did it, and also a comment from the person who did the cleanup. All of that is coming from our app. On the tree planting part, we are relying on our partner, One Seed, and these guys do a proper job tree planting. They don't do monoculture. They only plant native species. They make sure everything is documented with satellite data. So every tree is geotagged, and they show a photo. And they try to also be the closest to the tree planting person and reduce middlemen, because in tree planting, maybe you know about it, but there's been loads of scandals regarding trees that are planted that die within, 80-90% of them die within 1-2 years. So we need to ensure also survival rates of over 80%. We need to plant the trees where it's needed, not in a random place. So it's a landscape restoration, and One Seed is our partner who actually takes care of all of this, and we are actually giving part of the money to them so that they can get the trees planted, and we take something left for our organization, Clean Something for Nothing. That's a bit in a nutshell how it works. It's something new we launched this year, and we have already planted over 1,000 trees. But it still is really the beginning. If you compare number of trees with number of kilos, it's a huge difference. So we could do way bigger impact because we take out what nature don't need, which is the litter, and we put back in more of what it does, which is more trees. And we do that in areas where deforestation have hit the most. Also, we try to maximize euro per impact as much as possible. So instead of planting, for example, here in Luxembourg, where a tree would cost over 10 euros, we have plenty of forests here. I'm not saying it's not important, but we could use this money to plant more trees in places who have been devastated by deforestation, where the soil is very degraded, where also people don't have the means to get money for to work. It's a whole plan to maximize impact, and also we are collecting trash in the countries likely where we're producing most of trash, which is like first world countries. That's also why. Yeah, maybe I could also explain what do you do with the app, because
Yes, I'm
not sure if people.
Yeah, actually, this would be anyway the thing I would love to let our listeners understand as well. Like, if they, no matter where they listen to right now in the world, how could they become part of it, and how could they join it? Can anyone just go in the app and start collecting litter and weighing it, or how does that work?
Yeah, everybody can download the app. It's available everywhere for free, Apple Store and Play Store. We have the app in 3 languages: English, French, and Spanish. And yeah, the app is here to share, to track, and to celebrate cleanups. So as you just said, you just go outside and you pick up some trash, you put it on a bag, obviously. And then depending on how big is your bag, if you use like a roll of 50 liters bags, well, once you fill up one bag, you can already post it and say, look, I collected one bag of 50 liters. You have a very intuitive way to input this data. You have a scroll where you select the number of bags and another scroll where you select the size. So it's quite straightforward. Only with the volume, you could already post the cleanup. Of course, you need to put photos, at least one, but up to 5. And you can write a comment, same as Instagram, right? Think of when you do a post on Instagram, you put photos, a comment, you put the location. You also can tag a friend if you clean up with this friend or multiple ones. You can do that in the app. And you can select the date. By default is today, but you can also post previous cleanups. That's something our community really wanted to have as an option. And that's pretty much it. Once you have that, you have already posted your cleanup, and it will be appearing on the feed. Same thing as Instagram. You will see the feed with everyone's cleanup by order by date. You can also filter by country. If you're only interested to see the cleanups in Austria, you just click on the flag and you will only see cleanups in Austria. You will have your own profile where you see how you level up. The more you clean, the more you can level up and discover new animals. There's a bit of a gamification element to make it a bit more fun. You can also see everyone's cleanups. So the data is fully available for everybody. We don't sell any data or we don't do anything with that. We just keep it secure in our cloud servers in Europe. And it's there for you to check whatever you want to check. You can go and see all of the more than 7,300 cleanups that are posted already. And that's also the beauty of the app, is that you see other peers from different corners of the world doing the same. So I would like to actually say, Regina, that this really connects the people and doesn't divide or polarize the people. We have users from Japan, the US, Uganda, Chile. We might have different backgrounds, different religions, education levels, political views. Okay. But we are united here. We are protecting Mother Nature. It's not political. To me, that's transversal. It's common sense, right? Shouldn't be left, right, middle, up and down. Protecting nature should be like non-negotiable, should be like having common sense. I think that's good to have, right? Similar would be to protect what we have and at least don't damage it. Yeah.
I love how your eyes light up. Our listeners have to imagine now, but how your eyes light up with that big smile on your face right now when you share about that. It's encouraging. I really resonate with what you say about the, in a way, like human nature. We are all humans in the end, and we all live on the same planet. And to have this as a connection point with other people across the world is really powerful, because I was talking with a guest recently, a follow-up conversation. Maybe I can encourage you all to listen also to Jimmy Westerheim and how he shared about small scale impact. I think this was the name I gave the episode. What doesn't mean that you cannot, because I think yours does both. Your impact is, if you would want to say small, and I don't label that now as something not as good as big scale impact. I mean it more like on a local level. Like you are in one place and you are making impact here in this city, in this district, where you are with other people that meet in real life. That's also something that is so important, like moving forward, when we look at also how is our human species also developing. Like we should actually get away from our screens and we should meet in person. So there's something that you offer that is an offline, real world experience that is where you are with other people. And at the same time, you do bring it onto that global, like bigger scale impact as well, where you then can connect with other people and feel like you're part of this like global action plan, so to say, right? That's so
Yeah.
It's uplifting. That hope, that you were referring to. That gives hope.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I agree. And to me, it's how can I say? It's not a revelation. It's another example, one of many, I'm sure, that shows that we have many more things that connect us than divide us. It seems that we are divided by what we consume in the news. We often have bad news, polarization among politicians and civil society. We're a bit, I feel it, at least, that's my perception. We're a bit tense, or we feel a bit too much confrontation. But in reality, I'm sure those of you who have traveled the world or different countries, meet different people across the planet, people is good with other people, no matter where you're from. Normally, people is welcoming and they try to help one another. We shouldn't forget that. So I think doing cleanups together or separately, but being united with technology, like in an app, to see, okay, this guy is also cleaning up here. That's motivating me as well to do my bit here. That's another way of proving that we have many things in common that can connect us, rather than focusing on the division. And yeah, to me, is the reality. It's not that I'm pushing something out of
Thank you so much for
my own
joining
will
today.
at all.
If you would
I
like to
think
get your voice heard
what
on
we
hashtag
are
impact,
doing is just
just
putting
send a
the
voice
tool
note
there.
at
But the amazing magic is each one of the
/story. I will
users
include
who
the
decides to
link
go out
in the show
to
notes as
clean
well,
up.
so you can
for
easily
the-
find it.
If you would
And
like
if
to
you
get
love
your
what you're
voice
hearing
heard
here,
on hashtag
please
impact,
tell your friends
just
about
send a
it
voice
too.
note at
I talk to you soon.
#impact.com.
Bye/story. I will include
More
the link
philosophical, but to
in
be
the show
honest,
notes
to me
as
that's,
well, so you can easily
super
find it. And if you
real.
love what you're hearing
It's,
here, please
being
tell your
objective,
friends about
be
it too.
a
I talk
hippie
to you
or
soon.
whatever. It's totally. I see that as something super objective. What I'm saying, that's my belief.
And I would love to encourage everyone to head over now and check out the app. And I will put all the links in the show notes, of course, and also how to connect with you and get in touch, so that people can try it out, get some friends together and just try it out, how
Yeah.
that feels. And
Yeah, try it once.
try it out. And I, of course, also want to send you through the quick fire round. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, okay, let's go.
Making an impact means
Doing something that matters.
who inspires you in the way they build community?
Hard to answer. I would say Joshua Combes. As he.
And what could everyone do right now after they listen to this podcast to make the world a better place?
That's a hard one. You could do plenty of stuff, from giving a hug to their parents or couple or sons, for example, right? Helping anybody they find on the street. Any good action that that can spark a good something good, or a cleanup, of course.
Or a cleanup, of course, yes. Thank you so much for taking the time and sharing your story. And it's so, it's a gift that keeps on giving as well, like running this podcast and getting to meet wonderful, truly inspiring people like yourself. Thanks to it. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Regina, for having me. But I say us because that's giving voice to our movement. It's a huge pleasure to be here, and I felt personally super comfortable. Although I'm not used to do a podcast, I think it's okay. It's my second one ever, and I felt super comfortable. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. And of course, as many or all of the former #Impact guests will attest, once you're in my world, I will keep following up, I will keep checking in, and also, call to action for you as well and for your community to also reach out to me and to the team and keep sharing your voice. We have actually, I should be more promoting that more, that people actually know.
Yeah.
But when you head over to #impact.com/story, there is a little voice recorder there, and it's not like a full feature interview that we're doing, but you can, you have 90 seconds to share your voice, to maybe lift someone up, share about the impact that you are making, maybe some of the people that have done some cleanups. Feel free, if you're in Cesar's world and you've done a cleanup and you feel really great about it and you use the Clean Something for Nothing app, just send me a voice note and I'll add that on in one of the upcoming episodes, because I know that you are one voice, I know that our guests, they represent one voice, but there are so many people out there doing incredible things, and I really want to put this on the record here now, that this channel is open to these voices to get heard, and I'm gonna make sure that they get airtime on the channel. Yeah.
Lovely.
Great. Thank you so much for this, Cesar.
Thank you so much as well.
Thank you so much for listening to this special episode as part of Podcaston. If you enjoyed it, feel free to visit podcaston.org to discover many other charities through the voices and talents of amazing podcasters. And if you want to get your voice heard on #Impact, please do send us a voice message at #impact.com/story or reach out at hello@impact.com. Thank you so much for being part of this. I talk to you soon. Bye.